of the Ghana Police Service is to be a world-class police organization capable of delivering planned, democratic, protective, and peaceful services up to the standard of international best practice.
A core value of the Ghana Police Service, as stated, is to be honest in our activities, to be firm but fair. For years, however, the service is accused of not living up to this core value. Ghanaians continue to score the service of unprofessionalism and relenting on their mission of delivering services in crime prevention, detection, apprehension and prosecution of offenders for a safe, secure and peaceful communities.
I know him at Nima. How I know him, even though court has not proven him to be criminal, but I know they were one of the criminals over there. So I told him that now, police service, more lose integrity to the extent, say, put me making arrest, and will bring more source of power to criminals. Adentina SC invisible force for the arrest. Adentia. If Ghana is not a shithole, how can invisible force need arrest?
We were with them, so we know them. The way they know us, we too know them. As invisible forces, with the jacket CID, we know them.
In the course of the crowd control, we didn't fire any weapon. Those who were injured were restrained physically by officers because they were proving stubborn.
The upsurge of political vigilantism in the country and the inaction of the Ghana police to bring perpetrators to book has led to many questioning the independence of the police. I am your reporter, Ajo Beckley, and today we will be delving into political vigilantism vis-a-vis the independence of the police. The accusations intensified following the shooting incident that marred the just-ended Ayawaso West Worgon by-election when some muscular men believed to be from the National Security attacked some voters at the La Baolation Presby JHS polling station and fired gunshots in the air, wounding about 10 persons. The Director General of Operations, DCOP Alex Mensah, seemed to have no idea who deployed the involvement of this special national security squadron in the operations at the Ayawaso West Worgon. In an interview he granted the press.
We've always been working with national security. So what is the accusation?
No, that's the key line, key word, to intimidate.
Doesn't mean the presence of the police intimidates anybody. I don't think the presence of the police is an intimidation. It's just a measure of telling people that we are in control and we are here to ensure that there's peace.
Now there's a state of fear as we speak.
Why should there be a state of fear?
I mean, some people
because
are
the police are here.
No, because of the incident. What happened?
Why should policemen mask themselves to monitor?
I don't have that information. I wasn't here. I have not seen that one.
Are you suggesting you are not in charge of your men?
I am in charge, but I have not seen any policeman masked. I think we have a lot of policemen here. And I don't think anybody is marked here.
So that suggests that those who came here are not police officers. They are not your men.
I don't know those who came here.
Do you know the men on the ground?
This is something that we need to investigate. But I don't know those who came here. So because all my policemen are not marked. You can see from wherever.
So you know the men on the ground. You know your men on the ground.
I know the men on the ground.
And they are not marked.
And I can see them when I see them.
So are they from National Security Operations, those who are marched?
I can't tell you that they are from National Security Operations, so I can't tell you for now, as I sit here, because I have not done any investigations. And I wasn't here when the incident happened.
The Minister of State in charge of the national security at the presidency, Brian Echampong, speaking to a sister station, later took responsibility for deploying the men that day, claiming it was due to intelligence they picked on the grounds.
It is standard protocol that when you have an election like this, you assign security personnel to the parliamentary candidate or parliamentary or presidential candidate. It's a standard security protocol that we adhere to. In addition to that, we also receive intelligence information about some stuff, movements here and there that we track, we trace, and then we neutralize. And that information I may not be comfortable sharing on air.
I see. So the men hooded, fully armed in the buckets of the vehicles that we saw, they are not they are not guards for the MPs. They were for the special assignment on the intelligence you spoke about, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So were they successful in their assignments?
Because it's under active investigation, what the information we have goes beyond the by-election that we just witnessed.
The incident during the by-election has been described as an act of vigilantism, with many claiming the NSC men are members of a vigilante group in the ruling government's party, NPP, popularly known as Invisible Forces, bringing into question the effectiveness of the police in curbing vigilantism in the country. Political vigilantism became a topic across the length and breadth of Ghana some time ago, with the start of such groups in the major political parties creating all sorts of agitations in the country. Last year, in a symposium organized by the Institute for Democratic Governance, IDEG, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Dr. Benjamin Agozo, revealed that the Ghana Police Service and the other security agencies cannot be professional in their effort to root out the menace of political vigilantism unless the laws that govern the appointment of their leaders and operations are reformed.
Now, this is the composition of the police council in Ghana. The vice president is a party man. It doesn't matter whether it's NPP or NDC. This is what we have given us, and this is what we work with. Now, a minister responsible for internal affairs, who is he? He's a party man. Then you have an Inspector General of Police appointed by the president. The president can dismiss him at any point in time, and therefore his loyalty is partial. It doesn't matter whether he was appointed by NPP or NDC, his loyalty is divided. Because he can be appointed today and dismissed tomorrow. And the worst scenario is when he is appointed to be acting capacity. It means I'm watching you. That is what it means. Now, the Attorney General is a party man. Then you have a lawyer nominated, that one again, impartial, a representative of police, very well. 2 members of the police service appointed by the president. So who is that? Those people. Once they are appointed by the president, you know where they are coming from. Then 2 other members appointed by the president. So the whole composition of the police council is the president. And it's the party. Why will you give us this and think that we should be professional? You cannot. There's no way you can have a professional police service. It is party politics. And that is why we have become a chess in the hands of the government. Whether it's MPP or NDC, we are chess in their hands. And they are playing political games. That is why no party in opposition can trust the government, can trust the police. Because of what you do with us. And so once you move into opposition, you are scared that the same thing you do with us, the other party will do with us.
Dr. Aguzo argued that so long as such provisions in the 1992 Constitution remained unchanged to allow for an independent body to select, for instance, the Inspector General of Police and give him or her a specific tenure of office, the call on the police to arrest members of vigilante groups who engage in acts of violence would be unsuccessful due to political interference in their operations.
These revelations by the ACP spark an unending debate in the country. COP Nathan Kofi Boakye added his voice to the call for a change in the security architecture through constitutional amendments to curb this menace of vigilantism.
We need the support of civil society, because if we leave it to the politicians alone, we will fail. We need to come together and say enough is enough. Because if you bring the whole Ghana police from all the regions to Accra, and there is a political route, the police cannot control it because of numbers. Not because we cannot do it, but because of numbers and support. I don't want to talk about the security architecture of this country, because one of my colleagues spoke about the security architecture, Dr. Agojo, and he was fried. But he was speaking the truth. We cannot pay lip service to the fight against vigilantism and covertly support them with money, appointments, and what have you. Ghanaians should support police to deliver. It is escalating. It's not coming down. Because something has not happened. But I can assure you, if we don't sit up, police, political parties, both NDC and MPP, civil society, those who know better, if we all don't sit up, 2020 and beyond will be something explosive, and it can be something that will not be able to contain.
National organizer of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, Sami Ewuku, however, thinks the police is to be blamed for the rise of vigilantism in the country.
I'm one of the people who blame the security agencies. One, their lackadaisical attitude, and two, sometimes the reluctance on their part to even enforce the laws of our country. And the police cannot also continue to look over their shoulders waiting for instructions from the political class. In fact, quite recently, when you had an official of Yoko who was criticizing the political class on the issues of corruption, when people believed that he wasn't given a good deal and was suspended, the civil society, the fourth estate of the realm, the media, they got up in defense of that gentleman. So if the NCC does a good job, the citizenry will commend them. But where the citizens also begin to feel that the law enforcement agencies, they've also joined the NCC to sleep in the past. So he emboldens these young men, and they also begin to take the law into their own hands. It is clear that this situation is not sustainable. I agree with Dr. Enin that we cannot continue to have a situation where first you think the shoe is on another foot. For us as politicians, when you leave us with a platform, convincing is the least of our worries.
General Secretary of the NDC, Asiedun Ketia, also had this to say about political vigilante groups.
You realize that for 2 years now, we have all been complaining about the rising incidence of vigilantism in this country. The president promises that something will be done and nothing gets done. Some of us have been affected by vigilante attack, and yet nobody had been held responsible as we speak to you now. And they are now in charge of the security services, and they still maintain party vigilantes terrorizing people left, right, and center, and all the security services are quiet. Even when you take steps to report, they don't take any action.
Executive Director of National Commission on Civic Education, Josephine Nkrumah, has also expressed fear in the uprising of such groups.
While some are talking about disbanding and others are saying we are distancing ourselves from it, others are also endorsing it. So where do we turn to? And where does that leave you and I as Ghanaians? It means I wake up every day with a sense of anxiety, wondering when vigilantes will next strike, and wondering whether somebody I know or myself is going to be a casualty. That is how I wake up feeling, because we don't understand how much this is a threat on our national security.
In contemporary times, vigilantism started as boys who are loyal to influential political figures, but has over time been formalized and given recognition by the political parties to provide security.
We exchange numbers with those that they're supposed to employ us. I've called them almost 2 months now. Nobody is ready to answer my calls. And we are the soldiers, and we will still be the soldiers. Please, we want to tell our people, if they will not give us work to do, what happened at Kumasi, the same thing will happen to them. Because we are even ashamed. Some of us, we are working in the side, and they are laughing at us. Is that how the party is supposed to treat us? Invisible! Invisible!
During party events such as Congress, press conference, and demonstrations, these vigilante groups collaborate with the police to provide security. They were largely restrained and limited to party activities during party events such as Congress until in 2016 when hell broke loose. Many stakeholders in the country believe security is a yardstick for measuring the level of good governance and democratic principles being practiced in the society, and have called for the autonomy of the service. A security analyst, Ibad Ibrahim, speaking to TV Africa News, has suggested a bipartisan consensus in the appointment of security heads.
I would rather advocate a bipartisan or multi-partisan consensus in the appointment of security heads and their tenure of office. So in Parliament, instead of the President having the final word in the appointment of the IGP or the BNI boss or the National Security Coordinator, it should be based upon a bipartisan, NDC MPP, or multi-partisan, in case PPP or PNC or CPP have got any seats in Parliament. There should be consensus, and it should be based on seniority within the service, so that you know that automatically, since I'm only one of 2 COPs, then I qualify. But because there is politicization of Ghana's security, somebody can be low in the pedestal or on the pedestal in the hierarchy, but a party comes into power and there is quick promotion. So the person immediately becomes a DCOP or a COP in preparation for the ultimate job of IGP. So vigilante groups that have a sense of entitlement, that as youth we protected the party, its leaders and its installations while in opposition. You can't be an appointee and tell us what to do. So that sense of entitlement will be tackled if there is bipartisan or multi-partisan consensus in the appointment of security heads, so that we don't leave everything to the party that takes the president to the Jubilee House.
Will a constitutional amendment in the composition of the police council and service be the long-term solution to the police and its perceived ineffectiveness? What is the way forward?
Ajok Bekler, reporting for TV Africa News.
The Reporter, an in-depth news report from The Reporter.